first pose, we're just laying down on our belly, toes slightly turn out, and take your feet a little bit wider. Heels slightly turn in. The heels don't have to touch the ground. That's going to depend on your range of motion in your own body. Just take a little bit wider stance with the legs. Find a comfortable position for your upper body. And we won't be here for too terribly long, so you can try folding your hands underneath your forehead. You can try stacking your forearms and letting your forehead rest on the back of your arms. Try to get your shoulders to relax down your back a little bit. And this is a great position to practice our diaphragmatic breathing. So we'll try a few rounds of Samavriti breathing. I'm going to keep my head lifted so you can hear me, but try to get long through the back of your neck. Let your head be heavy on your arms. Just start to notice your breath here. Maybe you close your eyes. Wherever you are in your breathing, empty all the air out of the lungs. We'll begin our Samavriti in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue silently counting your breath on your own. 2 more rounds of that. Let go of any counting. We're going to set up our first shape. We'll stay on the belly. If you want to adjust your feet at all, you can. Sometimes if the ankles bother you, a pillow underneath the tops of the feet or even a rolled up blanket there can be nice. Let's take Starfish Pose or Broken Wing. So we'll take the left arm out to the side. And the palm's going to face the floor. Your elbow and or your wrist are staying up in line with your shoulder. So just check out that left arm, make sure that that is true. And then you're going to turn your gaze, look over at your right fingertips, press down through your right hand, right underneath your right shoulder. It's like a little grasshopper / chicken wing on that right side. Rest your head all the way down on the floor or a prop, and then roll some body weight onto your left side. You can stack your hips here. You can stack your knees, your feet. You can keep your legs straight, or you can bend one or both knees. You know, you've got a lot of options here to explore with the legs, and that's really going to change the sensation through the whole spine, just depending on what you do. So feel free to explore movement or stillness. Eventually, we do want to settle into that place where we can hold still and find a passive stretch, but take the first few moments to kind of adjust, add in props. Where there's a lot of space between the body and the floor, that could be that upper right leg. Could be the side of the head where you're resting your head, especially if the neck feels cranky in this position. Add a folded blanket or a pillow underneath the head. And we're going to take about 4 minutes here on this side. So once you do find that place where you can rest and become still, let's return to our breath. You might even return to counting the breath. You don't have to stick with 5 counts in, 5 counts out. You can make it longer or shorter as needed. Try to relax your shoulders. Try to soften the neck. Try to connect your breath with your body. So as you breathe in, inviting in a sense of spaciousness in the body. As you breathe out, seeing if you can relax a little bit more deeply into the body. As we get further into the shape, if you want to add on a bind with that top arm, your right arm can lift up, forearm can just kind of rest behind the low back. If you're feeling like you're going to roll forward onto your chest and your belly, though, feel free to use your right hand there in front of your chest like a little kickstand. Keep coming back to the awareness of the breath moving in and out of the body. Take a few more moments here. Last 3 full deep breath cycles. When you're ready, you can slowly unwind. Take your time on your exits. Your transitions are just as important as being in the shape itself. So move with care. Let's return to the belly. And we'll take about 3 breaths in this neutral position of the spine. You can turn your toes out, widen the legs if you like. Tuck your chin, rest your forehead down on the backs of your arms. Last 2 breaths here. Okay, we'll set up our second side. So your right arm's going to stretch wide out to the side. That arm can be straight or the elbow can be bent, but palm is facing the floor. And try to keep your elbow and or your wrist in line with your shoulder or slightly above it. And then place your left palm underneath your left shoulder. Turn your gaze so that you can see your left fingertips. Rest your head completely down onto the mat or something tangible like a blanket or a pillow. Make sure the neck feels comfortable and supported in that position. You can start to press down into your left hand, roll body weight onto your right side. It can be a little bit of body weight, it can be a lot. Eventually, you might completely stack that left shoulder, left hip on top of the right side. But it's also okay if that doesn't happen at all, or today, or anytime soon. Try to remember to meet your body where it's at, honoring the edges where it tells you to stop. Again, feel free to explore for the first few moments in our shape together, and then eventually we're looking for that place where we can be still, because muscles become relaxed in that stillness. It does take time. It takes about 2 minutes physiologically for the nervous system to catch up with the body. This is a great opportunity to practice that patience and that awareness of what you're feeling and where you're feeling it, and what that kind of means about what you need. Maybe you return to the breath, counting it if you'd like to. Whatever your inhale takes you, can you see if that can match your exhalation? We'll take about 3 more slow breaths here. Gently, you can start to roll back onto your belly. Take your time with that. If you would like to, you could press back to child's pose from here. You can also just remain on your belly for a few more breaths. Whatever you're doing, 3 deep breaths. Okay, so if you haven't pressed back to child's pose yet, let's go ahead and do that as our transition. And if you're still in child's pose, about 3 more breaths there. All right, now we're going to set up for our next shape and we're going to turn so that our belly's facing the ceiling. We're going to do a little bit of range of motion work with the shoulders, but also give ourselves a nice back bend. There's so many different ways you can do this. We've explored many of them over time together. Here's the way that I'd recommend for today. If you have a blanket, let me start over with this. If you have a blanket, which I'm guessing most of you do, but if you don't have a blanket, you could also use a towel or a nice wide couch cushion. If you're using that blanket, get it into like a nice wider rectangular kind of shape and then roll it up. You know what else works really well for this is a foam roller. Blocks are also great too. Foam roller blocks, get creative. I like a blanket because it gives me this nice feedback and the back bend's just a little bit more minimal. So this is where the shoulder blades are going to rest, right on that blanket roll. So your armpits are just slightly above it so that you can spread your arms out wide in a big capital T shape. But actually, we're going to take our arms over the head, but just for reference, that blanket's going to touch right underneath the armpit. And then if you feel like your shoulders often feel kind of stuck or limited in range of motion, you can just do a little test right here by sweeping your arms up and overhead and see where your arms naturally stop. If they're forward of your ears, you probably want to bolster pillows, blankets above head so that the backs of the hands have something solid to rest on. So let's turn around. We'll find this sweet spot, laying down on our backs. Slight elevation to the rib cage, depends on the height of your prop underneath your shoulder blades, and then we'll stretch those arms overhead. So you're just kind of increasing that back bend like sensation. You definitely have choices with the legs. You could always work on external rotation of the hips. You could take the soles of the feet together, the knees out wide, knees are bent. That's just an additive. So we're really focusing on shoulder flexion, arms extended overhead first, and then everything else kind of up to you. I'm setting us a timer here, 3 minutes. Your arm stretching up and overhead, that can be a really wide V shape. It could look more like a capital I. Arms can be closer together. Feel free to explore that. Shoulders are feeling kind of pinchy and tight. Arms are wider, further away from each other. And again, remember to notice that space, if there is space between the floor and the forearms and the backs of the hands. Add some props in there to help support that overhead extension. Kind of get really relaxed through your upper body, back of the neck, soften the throat. Maybe closing the eyes. Can you breathe through your nose on both your inhale and your exhale? And you invite in that spaciousness, a sense of lightness on your inhale. Can you soften, relax, and deepen on your exhale? you haven't already, feel free to count your breath here. Have about 3 more rounds of breath in our current shape. So if your arms are stretched all the way up and overhead, give me a big breath in, stretch those fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then on your exhale, arms out wide like a capital T, palms facing the ceiling. Nice big stretch from fingertip to fingertip, from right to left. And then we'll start to make our way off of whatever's underneath the shoulder blades. You can roll off to a side and press your way up and move it out of the way, or just kind of wiggle it out of the way. And then let's return to our back. We'll do a little bit of a twist. And then from there, we can set up for our final Savasana. So hugging the knees into the chest, let your knees fall off to your left side, your right hip stacks on top. Both knees can stay bent and stacked, or you could extend out through that top leg. Maybe, if you can, your left hand can hold your right foot. If that sounds like some body origami, it's okay. Just let go of the bind. Keep your right shoulder grounded. Wherever you are, try to be at peace with your current shape. Can you breathe with it for 3 breath rounds? Slowly start to unwind, come onto your back. Again, hugging those knees into the chest. If you need to make any adjustments on your mat, totally fine to do so. And then let's let the knees fall off to that right side so that your left hip stacks on top. You can choose to keep the knees bent and stacked. You can explore reaching that right hand out to the left foot. It might catch a hold of it, it might not. And it's okay if it doesn't. It's not at the expense of the form of the shape, which is being grounded through your left shoulder, open with your chest towards the ceiling. Heavy in the hips and the legs. Slow and deep belly breathing. Let's take 3 rounds of breath here. And we'll very slowly start to unwind. As you come onto your back, feel free to take movement here. You could take happy baby. You could keep hugging your knees into your chest and just simply rock side to side. A couple of breaths there. If there's any other shape or movement you want to make, feel free to do that. And then I'd like to have a specific setup for our Shavasana, which would be to elevate the legs. So backs of the calves and the backs of the knees elevated. If you have wall space accessible, you can scoot the short edge of your mat against the wall and elevate the legs that way. And if you're using your props, you're just simply stacking them into a big pile as stably as you can. So maybe you have multiple pillows and blankets. You have books, couch cushions, right underneath the backs of the knees. Build a little shelf. Swing your legs over that. And then go ahead and lay back down. If there's any other sort of comfort you want to add, weight to the belly with an extra blanket, covering the eyes. We'll settle in here for our final resting shape. Relaxing the shoulders down the back, slightly tilting the chin in towards the chest. Deep breath in through your nose. This time, open the mouth, exhale. Very gentle seal of your lips. Breathing in and out through your nose once more. Relax your jaw, your teeth, your lips, your gums. All the muscles of the face soften. Let it go, let it rest for the next few moments. It is just now 12:30. If you have more time, please feel free to stay in your meditative state. If you would like to come out and find an upright seat to close your practice, you can start to wiggle the toes, the fingertips, and then begin to make your way there. Either way, let's take about 2 rounds of Samavriti breathing. Wherever you are in your breath, empty all the air out of the lungs. Begin in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Invite you to join the hands together at the heart and bow the chin into the chest. With reverence and gratitude for the practice, to all of our teachers, past, present, future, to the teacher within your own heart. Namaste, yogis.